Oh, let's go creeping up to the corn head. We don't do this very often because we hook up the corn head once typically, and that is the only time, and the sun is going to cause an abysmal glare on the front windshield. Hopefully we can look past that. Lower this way down. Oil is cold. Feeder house is going down very slow. If anything, I think we're straight and squared up. We just gotta wait an eternity for this thing to go down. Really, it's not as bad as the Unisystem. That thing, it's slow with the head on. You don't put it down without a head on it. Or the other way, I think we're close enough. It's gonna sneak underneath. Well, I think we're lifting it up. I kind of tucked it here, sort of out of the way in the corner of the lot by the old gleaner, if anybody needs any gleaner F2 parts. There, we knocked that snout down on that front corner. Now we just got to lift it up, oil these chains, and away we can go and get some corn. It's a lot easier than the bean head. Just drive shafts and pins, no electrical. So just hit the grease points, the bottom end of each roller. New Holland kept those supported. And then each drive sprocket for a gathering chain has a greaser. And all this looks like a copy of John Deere. But at least we don't have the latches like those heads do. These just flop back and latch. This latch, it's there. Well, we're supposed to latch up, down. Okay. Had to help that one a little bit. That one latched. And that one latched. They got a little bit of play in them. There's no way to really take it out. Well, that was fun and treacherous. I just did the lower, like the chains underneath for the row units from the drive shaft. Getting those oiled. And you always do that with a full jug of oil because you're reaching over your head and you don't have a whole lot of anything, any angle to get oil up there. I could maybe get it horizontal at best, and I gotta squeeze the oil out. I don't think I got too much on me. I look like a Dalmatian. I got oil on me. Oh well. It's not the worst thing these coveralls have seen. Toughie. You gotta reach up around the drive shaft up there and try to dump oil on them. Now we can sneak in here and get this little guy. Yay, we're not going directly into the sunshine. Taking it for a test run out front here at home by the main road. So at least it looks like to the neighbors we're getting something done, right? Or if something breaks, it's right by the road for everybody to see. So we saw the greasing, we saw taking the spikes out, and after rewatching my soybean footage, where I talk about hearing the soybeans and hitting the rotors, like you can hear them coming out of the pods and stuff, I couldn't hear that on video very well. I thought I could maybe hear when the rotor was out of balance when I was running empty with beans. But ever since I modified the spikes and removed the extra one on the one side of each rotor that had managed not to break out, it sounded great. And I slowed the rotor down to 100 RPM. There's a little bit more room to go slower, but I didn't want to go all the way slow in case we needed to go slower. I probably should open the deck blades. I feel like they're really tight. Okay, I'm close enough. Well, it's yellow and it's corn.
See what I mean by just about ready to run over.
Yeah, well, we were coming across, we were coming across the hill there to finish the load. And, yeah, the corn's nice and cold. Not quite sure if we broke freezing today, but I'm sure we will tomorrow. Just a fluke, early day or two. I'm kind of keeping an eye on there. I wonder how much that's B-wings. Hopefully not too much for fines. We should be doing a lot better about grinding because, well, we slowed the rotor down. We don't have those spikes. And there's not a whole lot more to open up the rotor. So after that, I'd like to think that it's not soft corn, but that's all we could be left with. Ooh, I thought I saw a red kernel go by. I did. That one's really red. Now there's little bits of red. That's a sign of dryness. And the only thing is we don't get to see red ears. When I'm ear picking, it's always fun to keep an eye out for the red or bronze ears. Another fun thing, I didn't make a video about this by itself, but the 1086 is stuck in high range again, and it's not just a lever thing. So let's take a nice gander at the 6610. Dad got it full of fuel, as we can see by the bright blue section and the tarp on the heat houser. That's the heat houser we put on the 2810 in years past. And the 66 is fairly close, it's just one cylinder longer. And, well, if I notice anything different, all our IH fans out there know exactly what those weights are. Over the years, I've gotten lucky at auctions and maybe known the right person here and there who gave me a deal on some old full circle weights that were sitting in the back corner of their barn rusting. And you know what? They weigh the same amount whether they're painted or not. I could wire wheel them down, then we lose the weight of the rust, and I could paint them. I may do that when it warms up, but not on a day like today where it's freezing cold and we need the weight because we got to get some power to the ground to pull close to 200 bushel or more in each wagon load. And if we're feeling real plucky, maybe we'll double hook. We managed to find a spare. That is another rim off a gleaner that we found at a junkyard, because if we remember during hay season I had one go flat and I couldn't find much for a tire, so we just went to a junkyard, and for a decent enough used tire for this tractor, 50 bucks. It's not new, it's got some dry cracking, but it's pretty good shape. That slow flow must mean we're empty. Time to keep shelling. It's gonna get dark on us. We'll go ahead and call this a fun farm adventure. And we will catch you guys later with more fun farming action, which will probably be tomorrow's corn shelling, which will be more about the shelling and less about the fixing and the grease and the pretty blue tractors with rusty wheel weights. Tractor hasn't been sitting long, the block's warm, so that's good. We discovered, or actually, I didn't know if this tractor had a block heater, but it's always had a block heater. Oh yeah, no problem. A little bit of spin and grip, but no problem. I don't know if we could do it with two wagons. But one gets them out of the field and gets them back to the barnyard. It's always just something about IH wheel weights. I wish I could find the right size Fords, and that's the problem. Those Fords are, they're the largest circle, not weight-wise, but diameter-wise, and sadly, Ford, of all the things that they could standardize and use over and over again, they didn't do that very well with their wheel weights. And those are for big 38-inch tires, and I haven't been so good at finding those yet.